You're looking at downtown St. Petersburg, Florida. Tonight we take you inside Tropicana Field on Fox Sports Net. Interleague baseball continues. Game number 5 of interleague play this year. The Dodgers and the Devil Rays. And we welcome you to Rays on Deck. Todd Callis with you. The Rays so far 1-3 in interleague play, playing the middle game of a 3-game set tonight against the Dodgers. Tomorrow night's game also on Fox Sports Net. Before we get rolling here on our Devil Rays on Deck show, I want to mention this lapel pin. Dwayne, Joe, and I are wearing these pins as our support for Cap Cure, Major League Baseball Players Association fight against prostate cancer. We'll see more on that in our second segment. Tonight, starting pitchers, Dodgers and the Rays. It'll be a couple of lefties. The 30-year-old lefty for the Dodgers, Omar Dahl, making his 5th start after 15 bullpen appearances. He is now in the rotation as Kevin Brown went on the DL. He's making his first start ever against the Rays. Joe Kennedy, 24-year-old lefty, facing him, making his 13th start of the season. Here's your schedule. Baltimore will host San Diego. Colorado will take on Boston. The Rockies are 0-4 in interleague play. The Phillies are 4-0, taking on Bartolo Colon, Montreal, and Detroit. Boomer Wells almost signed with Arizona tonight. He pitches against them as part of the Yankees rotation. San Fran in Toronto. Mets taking on the White Sox. Florida, 15-8 winners in 14 innings last night in Kansas City. Atlanta, Minnesota. The Twins won in 15 innings. Cincinnati taking on Texas. Pittsburgh at Anaheim. The A's won 5 in a row. Barry Zito on the mound. And St. Louis at Seattle. The lone National League game is the Cubs taking on the Houston Astros. So we have a lot going on Rays on Deck. We come back, we'll check out all the highlights of our Cap Cure promotion as the Major League Baseball players try and fight prostate cancer. It is now time for our Just for Men rejuvenating play featuring Chris Gomez. For Gomez, his 4th home run of the year, his 12th as a Tampa Bay Devil Ray, came against Hideo Nomo, a solo shot. And that is our Just for Men rejuvenating play. Just for Men, more than a hair color, it's the Rejuvenator.
Tampa Bay Devil Rays baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you in part by Budweiser, who salutes America's designated drivers. Pennzoil, we're driving protection. And by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, is it in you?
Dodgers and the Devil Rays on Fox Sports Net. Glad you could join us on this Tuesday evening. We're getting ready for baseball. So are the guys upstairs, Dwayne Stats and Joe McGrain. Gentlemen.
Todd, thank you very much. Well, the Devil Rays and the Dodgers got together for the first time ever last night, with the Dodgers coming out on top. And so tonight, the Devil Rays continue to look for their first win over this Los Angeles ball club. And one of the good things coming out of that contest last night, something that we've had an opportunity to talk about for about a week with Randy Wynn in the leadoff spot. He's making a solid bid to represent the Devil Rays at the All-Star game in Milwaukee.
Well, I think you're absolutely right. I think more importantly for Randy Wynn, you just hope that it's not in the middle of a hot streak for Randy Wynn, that he is starting to figure it out, because for so long the Devil Rays have been looking for a reliable leadoff hitter that can get things started. And Randy Wynn definitely has done that since being put into the leadoff role. The other thing you have to like about Randy Wynn, he's been hitting his seemingly 2 doubles a night, but when he gets on base, he's been running with a lot more confidence, and hopefully that's spilling into that part of his game to where he can create a lot of havoc and also spill into his defense as well. But he certainly has lately played like an all-star.
The Los Angeles Dodgers having a good road trip. They moved to within a game of the lead in the National League West behind Arizona. One of the things they've done over the last 3 weeks is score runs. They've had an offensive resurgence, especially against left-handed pitching, Joe. They're 13-3 in games started by left-handers, and Brian Jordan has really led that charge.
Yeah, he is one of the big reasons. Also, he has provided great protection for Sean Green. Last year it was Gary Sheffield, and the Dodgers reload again this year with a proven run producer in Brian Jordan. Brian Jordan's probably going to get knee surgery in the offseason, and in interleague play figures to DH. But the thing that you like most about Brian Jordan, he is not going to have a lot of throwaway at-bats. He's gutting it out every single pitch, and the pitchers can definitely sense that, which is why he's been able to drive in so many runs.
And speaking of pitchers, the matchup tonight, the Devil Rays will have Joe Kennedy on the hill with a record of 3-5, and Omar Dahl, 30 years old, back with the Dodgers for the 2nd time in his career. He'll be making the start for LA tonight. Right now, let's go back to Todd Callis. Todd?
Hey, Dwayne, thanks a lot. The Dodgers not only have the second best record in the National League, they are best in the National League away from Dodger Stadium, a very good road team this season. Let's check out some of the other storylines we'll be following in tonight's game. Joe Kennedy loves to pick guys off first base. The lefty leads all the major leagues with 6 pickoffs. Randy Winn has been on some sort of tear since moving into that leadoff spot with 6 extra base hits in his last couple of games. Winn batting close to .500 during that time since moving to the #1 spot. And the Dodgers, Dwayne mentioned it, against lefties, they are outstanding. 14-3 against lefty starters this year. No one else in the majors has a better record against southpaws than the Dodgers. We're getting ready for baseball tonight. Rays and the Dodgers from Tropicana Field. Here to tell you about all the action, Dwayne Stats and Joe McGrain.
All right, Todd, thank you very much. And another reminder in tonight's game, we'll be participating in the Cap Cure Home Run Challenge, where every home run hit raises $20,000 from your pledges for prostate cancer research. If you'd like to make a pledge, please call 1-800-547-CURE. Devil Rays meeting the Los Angeles Dodgers, led by their skipper Jim Tracy in his second year. And he has this club now a season high 13 games over 500 at 38-25. And we'll take a look at the Budweiser starting lineups tonight. For Los Angeles, the Dodgers go with the same lineup as last night. They'll have Cesar Izturis at shortstop. Paul LaDuca is the catcher. He'll hit #2. Sean Green is in right field. Brian Jordan is the designated hitter, hitting cleanup. Eric Karros is at first base, the #5 hitter. Marquise Grissom in center field. He'll hit 6th. Adrian Beltre at third base again tonight. Hitting 8th is the second baseman, Mark Granzolani. And Iram Bocachica is in left field. He'll hit 9th.
And against Joe Kennedy, as the Rays take on the Dodgers, he's making his 13th start. Taking a quick look at Joe's scouting report. Must get outs early in the count because he needs to go deep into the ball game. Needs a curveball command. Pitching well into righties with that fastball, and as you can see on his hat, a little showing of memory for Nick Beerbrot, definitely in his thoughts. As we go around the horn and set the defense behind Joe Kennedy, Jared Sandberg over at first, giving Steve Cox a night off. Brent Abernathy at second. Chris Gomez at short. Russ Johnson getting a start at third. Greg Vaughn in left. Hot hitting Randy Winn in center. Ben Grieve in right. And John Flaherty catching Joe Kennedy.
So we're all set to play baseball tonight at Tropicana Field with the Dodgers in town. Great to have you aboard. Middle game of this series, and the Devil Rays will be wrapping it up against the Dodgers tomorrow night here at 7:15. Cesar Izturis leads off, and the first pitch is a strike call on the outside corner to get this one underway. Izturis, the switch hitting shortstop, continues to hit out of the leadoff spot against left-handed pitching, and lines this one down to Sandberg at first for the out. One away here in the Los Angeles first. The Dodgers have won 16 out of 23.
Well, you just figured, Dwayne, as well as they had been pitching, if they started putting any runs on the board at all, that you'd see a huge uptick. And they have been playing well.
They went about 40 games into the season struggling offensively, and in the last 22-23 games they've scored about half the runs, actually a little over half the runs they've scored all year. First pitch is a strike call to Paul LaDuca, the Dodger catcher. So the offense has started to come alive for the Dodgers. 1 ball, 1 strike. And they've been a pretty good defensive ball club. And interestingly enough, when you think of the history of the Dodgers, they've always been a solid defensive club. But in recent years, that had not always been the case. 2 balls and a strike, and they feel as if they've been playing a little more like the traditional Dodger team lately.
Pitch well, catch it.
2 balls and a strike. Out of play. The count goes to 2-2. Bill Cousy calling the balls and strikes here tonight. Jerry Crawford, Joe West, and Brian Gorman completing the umpiring assignments at first, second, and third.
Well, the Blue Cowboy Joe West back in the saddle again.
Here is the 2-2, and it's popped up. Pitch in on LaDuca. Abernathy from second base there to make the catch. And that's the second out.
Joe West, one of the handful of umpires that were added to the list this year.
And one of the few Cowboys who actually recorded an album.
He recorded an album and has yet to know if he'll have the opportunity to sing a medley of his one hit, if in fact there was one. But put country music on the jukebox and
he'll
tell him it's free beer. He'll be there.
Sean Green. The pitch is upstairs. A ball and no strikes. Green at 276 with those 15 home runs, including a 3-run blast in the 5th inning last night. An opposite field home run. 1-1 to count.
Maybe that's why he went to Stanford.
And a broken back, ground ball to short. Gomez has it, thrown to first, a little wide. Sandberg had to come off the bag, and safe is the call at first. So Green hustling down the line is aboard as Gomez throw sailed a bit toward the inside of the bag.
I think it tells you a lot about Sean Green. He gets poorly jammed, and a lot of hitters would be disgusted by that and not run it out. He was running it from the first steps right out of the batter's box and took something that was negative and turned it into a positive.
So it's a throwing error on Chris Gomez, and it gives Brian Jordan an opportunity to bat here in the first. It's outside. He's hitting close to 390 against left-handed pitching and 301 overall right now.
Covers the outside part of the plate very well. I think Joe Kennedy matches up good against Brian Jordan because he has the ability to pound that ball inside.
It's a tap foul, so the count is 1-1.
Brian Jordan has always had good plate coverage. You can see where he stands in the box and watch him close off a little bit, and he can go out and get that pitch. And that pitch was out off the plate by about 3 or 4 inches.
The 1-1. Fouled away again. This one back into the seats. So the count is 1-2.
Hitting coaches will tell you you have to do more things mechanically right to hit that pitch down and away. Now Brian Jordan's swing serves him well to hit that pitch down and away because he closes off to give that type of coverage, but he can be jammed.
Over to first base, and Green is back in there. And we've seen that Kennedy has been proficient at picking off base runners since his arrival here with the Devil Rays.
I saw Sean Green get up and just kind of mouth to himself, "That was a good one. Almost got me."
Is at first on the error, and again a move to first. Green is back in.
Well, he's got a chance to get a good hitter now when Brian Jordan. You don't want to show that good move too many times. Save it for when you really need it.
He's ahead of Jordan. A ball and 2 strikes. There goes the runner. The pitch is high, and the throw is not in time. A stolen base for Green, his 3rd of the year.
And that was a situation where Green just said, well, he's thrown over there twice. He's not coming over there again. You can see by the look that Kennedy was focusing towards the plate. Green just went first move on him, got a huge jump. See Joe focus on the plate. And he stole that on Joe Kennedy. Didn't think that Kennedy was going to throw there 3 times in a row.
Now the 2-2 to Jordan, and a wave and a miss. He's out of there to retire the side. Bottom of the first coming. Los Angeles nothing. The Rays coming in to hit. Into bat in the bottom half of the first. No score from Tropicana Field tonight. We'll check out the Budweiser starting lineup for the Rays. Randy Wynn will be in the leadoff spot, followed by Ben Grieve. Greg Vaughn will hit 3rd tonight. The DH hitting clean is Aubrey Huff, followed by John Flaherty and Brett Abernathy. Chris Gomez, Russ Johnson, and Jared Sandberg rounding out the lineup against Omar Dahl.
And let's take a quick look at that scouting report. For Omar Dahl, has a very deceptive delivery. And he's doing some heavy breathing right now. Very smart pitcher, tough to pick up with that delivery. Pitches outside the zone a lot with a purpose. And the thing that is most glaring as you look at the scouting report about Dahl, he'll spread it up and down the radar gun. Sometimes throw pitches that are 20 miles apart from each other.
His first pitch to Randy Winn was a strike, and the second pitch is fouled back, so Randy's behind in the count. 0-2. Winn has certainly taken to that leadoff spot, hitting .305 overall. He had 3 more hits in last night's game. And a foul ball, and you can see Dahl is completely turning his back to the hitter on that delivery before unleashing that 0-2 pitch. A 2-strike count.
He's the left-handed version of El Tiante, Louis Tiant.
And a drive high and deep to left and gone. Randy Winn on an 0-2 pitch hits it out. His 6th home run of the year. He continues to be red hot at the plate. Randy Winn belts one out to give the Rays the lead.
He got to the ball pretty quick as Dahl tried to come up and in. Look at this nifty little stroke. I mean, that is short and sweet. Pulls his hands in, and look how far that ball went.
Now the pitch to Ben Grieve is a strike. The 3rd career leadoff home run for Randy Winn. He had one, as you know, in the San Diego series. He hit it off Bobby Jones. This one, he connects off Omar Dahl. I'm not sure red hot is exactly enough to describe what Randy Winn is out of the leadoff spot.
Well,
Unbelievable.
What gets hot after it's red? Blue? He is smoking. I think he kind of shocked Omar Dahl with that home run as well. 0-2 trying to come up and in. He thought he located his pitch, and boom, gone.
Now the 2-2 is a strike 3 call here to Ben Grieve. So Grieve is caught looking. Another look at the whole set, the delivery and the home run.
Time to rub up a new one. That's a helpless feeling there as a pitcher. You've given up a home run, and it seems like forever until you get another. You feel helpless. You don't know what to do until that umpire gives you the ball, and a lot of times they make the hitter run all the way around before they'll give you a ball.
A bouncing ball back at third. Beltry has it. Long throw. One hops in, and Vaughn is out at first base. So Randy Winn belting the home run here to start the bottom of the first, and with that home run hit by Winn, another $20,000 has been raised to support prostate cancer research. Coming in this time around, the total was up around $300,000, and there's another $20,000 in the race for the cure. Aubrey Huff taking the pitch for a strike.
Hit with power, high average, good on base percentage.
That's in there. 0-2 the count. The home run challenge, cap cure. And Randy Winn has already chipped in. Popper into short center. Grissom to his right a bit, makes the grab. We're at the end of an inning. 1-0 Tampa Bay. Eric Karros takes the first pitch for a strike. Second inning is underway with the Rays out in front 1-0. The Dodger first baseman has his average over 300. A little piece of that one foul, and the count goes to 0-2. It's been quite a 1-2 punch from Jordan and Karros against left-handed pitching. The Dodgers 13-3 in games started by left-handers this year. One ball, 2 strikes. So they are overall 13 games over 500. And in 16 games started by lefties against them, 13-3. So 10 of those games over 500 coming against left-handed starters. It's going to be foul and out of play. Holding the count at 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, the best defense against those big guys in the middle of the lineup who have had success against lefties is being able to get strike 1 to allow you to go on to the attack mode.
And a fly ball right center field. Ben Grieve over and is there to make the grab. And that's the first out. So Karras leading off with the fly ball into right center.
You see on the other side of Joe Kennedy's hat, he has the numbers 32 for his fallen friend Nick Bierbrot, who's up in Charleston, South Carolina, and the reports so far have been good in his recovery.
Marquise Grissom will be the hitter. And the pitch to him is a little bit high. 1 ball, no strikes. There was a press conference held with the physician, with the surgeon who was involved in the tragic occurrence of Nick Bierbrot, and actually as bad as it has been, certainly not nearly as bad as it could have been. High foul. That ball is going to be out of play, and the count is 2-1. And so we had an opportunity earlier in the evening to hear firsthand from the surgeon, the attending physician, Dr. David Cole, the condition and the prior procedures performed on Nick Bierbrot. Line drive. Gomez makes the catch. 2 gone here. 2 up, 2 down. Best damn sports show, period. Changing the face of sports television forever. And tonight it's a look back at some of the best moments on the show. Buccaneers head coach John Gruden will be there. Talk show host Jerry Springer and USA Today columnist Rudy Martzke, and the best damn sports show, period, tonight after the game right here on Fox Sports Net. That's a strike to Adrian Beltre. 1 strike. So Nick Bierbrot is doing very well, especially all things considered. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Rays, by the way, putting together a big get well card for fans to sign at gate 1 starting tonight. 2 balls and a strike. Pitch is wide, and with any luck we'll be hearing from Todd Callis later on this evening with an update on the information coming out of that press conference regarding Nick Bierbrot. Maybe take a look at that large get well card. Wynn is right there for this line drive to retire the side. We go to the bottom of the second. 1-0 Rays. On Flaherty, he goes after this one, and one hops the shortstop is Torres, who makes a nice pickup, and the throw to first in time to get the Double Ray catcher. It's a nice play out there at shortstop.
Well, it's a nice play when you consider there's a little bit of luck involved because it was hit firmly, didn't have a chance to get in front of it. This little do or die scoop, you make it or you don't, and he made it.
Now Brent Abernathy. Abernathy at 261. The pitch is a ball. One ball, no strikes. Abernathy takes a look at this one. So the count is 1-1 as the Devil Rays face the lefty Omar Dahl out of Maracaibo, Venezuela.
And he'll go up and down the velocity charts to the high 60s up to around 90.
2 balls and a strike. Started his pro career in the Dodgers system and actually got to the big leagues initially with the Dodgers. Spent some time with the Expos. The base hit the other way for Abernathy. He'll make the turn and hold at first, and the Devil Rays have a runner with one out here in the home half of the second inning.
And that's the type of game that Brent Abernathy has to play, especially against left-handed pitching. Not be so focused on ripping the ball into the gap, but just taking what the pitcher gives you, letting the ball get back on you. Brent Abernathy did a super job there. Pitch about thigh high away, went right with it. He's really made some improvements in that part of his game, that stroke.
Here's Chris Gomez. Strike one. Dahl up with the Dodgers, and then a couple of years with the Expos, briefly with Toronto, and then out to Arizona. And last year, full season with the Phillies. He was a 13-game winner with the Phillies last year, 13-7, and making the start tonight for the Dodgers his 5th start of the year. Count is 1-1. It's his 20th appearance overall. He's starting in the spot now vacated by Kevin Brown, the Dodger right-hander, who underwent microscopic surgery.
Looks like Dahl did as well in the back of his neck.
Well, doesn't it?
What is that stuff?
There's a pop fly back into short right. Green coming in and makes the catch for the out. 2 gone. We'll have to keep an eye on the back of his neck. Keep up with the fastest sports on wheels every weeknight with Totally NASCAR on Fox Sports Net. No other show provides as much NASCAR news, info, and expert analysis from a seasoned crew. If you have the need for speed, then you need to tune in to Totally NASCAR weeknights at 6. Here's Russ Johnson. Over to first. Abernathy is back in there. Kevin Brown out with that microscopic surgery in his lower back with a disc problem on that. So Omar Dahl is in the rotation. Again, Abernathy back. So what do you think that is? It's too obvious to be little pieces of sandpaper.
I was going to say maybe it's terracotta.
1 strike the count. Well, it is terracotta in color.
It is indeed. They look like small little band-aids. Maybe he's had some neck difficulty, and those are like those real tiny magnets.
It's inside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
The training staff for the Dodgers has been on the cutting edge. Of course, basically that, along with Centinela Hospital, where Kevin Brown had his surgery. A lot of excellent physicians, most notably Frank Jobe, who originally performed the Tommy John surgery, and a fine cooler in his own right is Omar Dahl.
2 balls, 1 strike the count.
Probably learned a little bit about money management to become good at the game of pool, one would think.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, let's hope so.
There's a foul ball right back, and the count is 2-2. I bet Ross Porter would have an idea what those miniature bandages would be, those little band-aids on the back of Dahl's neck.
And if he didn't, he could give you a count of how many there were.
Well, right now it looks like a full count, 3-2. Fly ball back into right field for Green near the line, and he's got it to retire the side. Through 2, 1-0 Tampa Bay. One nothing ball game. Here's we go to the top of the 3rd. The Rays are out in front. Be sure and see the majestic tall ships as they descend upon St. Petersburg. It's the America Sale 2002, June 27th through the 30th. For just $12, you get a ticket to this maritime spectacle and a ticket for the Rays game of your choice between June 25th and 30th. Mark Grudzielani leading off, taking the first pitch for a strike.
We had a hard hitting interview with Jack Glacier just a few days ago.
It's going to be a great event. Especially if Todd Callis is in it.
Yep.
This one is down. 1 ball and 1 strike.
He has assured us that his dinghy that currently is in dry dock is seaworthy. He's actually invited us. He's had us on his boat before.
He has indeed. There's a little looper back of first, out of the reach of Jared Sandberg. Grudzielani will make the turn and head for 2, and the throw is not in time. Grudzielani, the second baseman, hustles his way into a double.
Of course, anytime when you get fisted like that, just over the infield down to the right, you're going to get a lot of Q spin on it, and it's going to go towards the right, towards our right, towards the Rays bullpen. That's going to give you a little bit more time, and Grudzielani did a good job sensing that, showing no hesitation. Hustled into second.
So a leadoff double, the 11th of the year for Grudzielani. Iran Boca Chica is the hitter, batting .250 for the year. Pitch is wide. 1 ball, no strikes. Joe Kennedy making his 13th start of the year for the Devil Rays. One and one. And Boca Chica chasing that pitch. Check of the runner and the pitch. This one is down. 2 balls and a strike.
Of course, Joe Kennedy trying to coax Boca Chica to hit a ball to the left side to prevent Grudzielani from moving into third. A couple of ways you can do that. One, by coming inside with a fastball or an off-speed pitch, trying to get the hitter to roll over on it and hit a ground ball to Chris Gomez, perhaps.
And a shot right back off Kennedy, deflecting to Gomez. No play. Over to third goes Grudzielani, and Boca Chica is aboard on a line drive right back to the mound, deflecting off Kennedy. That's going to go as a base hit.
Joe Kennedy's followed through, left him in perfect position for this ball to go right into his glove. And with that quick little deflection here, you'll see in his follow through, it's almost right into the pocket of his glove. Catches him on the thumb.
So the Dodgers now have a threat coming out of the 8 and 9 hitters. That's been a recurring theme the last few days on this homestand. History fouls this one out of play. A strike to count happened last night when the 8 and 9 hitters managed to reach base 5 times. They drove in a couple runs last night and scored 4 runs out of the 8 and 9 spots, and the same thing the day before against San Diego.
I talked with Hal McRae about that today, and you know, the bottom of the order with the Padres had been really struggling, and you know, in a perfect situation, he would have liked to seen his pitchers be more on the attack mode as opposed to trying to employ all this trickery and just go right after them. They weren't hitting well, and they're at the bottom of the order.
Over to first and close as Boca Chica got that hand back in there on the backside of the bag at first.
That would have been a big out for Joe Kennedy to steal right there. Boca Chica a little casual.
And very close at first. Strike 2 to the shortstop is Torres. Torres saw a little bit of him last year when he was with the Toronto Ball Club.
So I was going to mention that also. You know, against the left-handed pitchers, he doesn't have the same type of swing that he has against the righties when he's hitting left-handed.
Again, Boca Chica's back in at first. Stewart line to first, his first time. The tap foul off the breaking ball.
He just looks like he is just floating into the ball, like he's not taking a crisp move into the ball, like he's just kind of gliding.
Well, the offense he has given them this year has come pretty much from the right side, way high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. They love the way he can play shortstop. A very good infielder and young enough so that they're hoping that the offense is something that will develop.
So Joe Kennedy, I mean, very close to not stopping, trying to quick pitch with that slide step.
And now he goes to 3-2, missing with a fastball wide.
Hasn't quite been coming out of his hand right to this point. Looks like he is still battling his release point and his delivery.
Well, he's on the verge of big trouble with the hitters to follow Esteuras in this lineup. And again, a move to first. Boca Chica's back in. Paul LaDuca next, then Sean Green and Brian Jordan following. Two men on with nobody out. And again over to first base on Boca Chica. A threat here. The Dodgers mounting a major threat. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And the delivery's fouled out of play. So Esteuras hanging in against Kennedy.
Well, hopefully he's going to be able to make a couple of good pitches here, Dwayne. He's going to have to, but he doesn't quite look himself tonight. Focus, a lot of throws over to first base. Of course, the condition of his roommate Nick Bierbrot probably on his mind.
And a foul ball again out of play. Well, as 2 young left-handers would be, they were close, spent a lot of time together. The good news about Bierbrot is they feel that by this coming weekend he may actually be out of the hospital.
That'd be great.
And they were talking positively about an eventual recovery. Over to first one more time, and Boca Chica kept busy over there, diving back in. Three balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. He got Esteuras to chase one, and he's the first out. And with Nick Bierbrot in mind, let's check in with Todd Callis.
Hey, Dwayne, thanks a lot. And you mentioned what's going on with Nick over there as he rehabilitates in South Carolina. This is the banner that everybody had a chance to sign tonight outside of gate 1 right here in the rotunda. And look how many signatures they got already. They're putting it back out at the end of the game so people on their way out can sign it. That's going to go up to South Carolina and hopefully lift Nick's spirits. But it was a very scary time, as we heard in that press conference we both listened to. Dr. David Cole, who's the director of surgery at the University of South Carolina Medical Center, said that really within millimeters, one of the bullets came within millimeters of striking Nick's aorta. And had that happen, he said it would be unlikely that he would have made it alive to the hospital. So you're right, it was amazing that he came through it the way he has, that he is a very fortunate person, and a lot of the fans are sending their best to Nick. Back to you, Dwayne.
All right, Todd, thank you. Paul LaDuca, the catcher, taking the pitch down, so the count is 1-1. So in one way, very, very unfortunate, the occurrence with Nick Bierbrot, and in another way, extremely fortunate.
Wow.
To still be alive. Runner takes off from first. The pitch is a ball, and Boca Chica arrives without a throw at second base. So the Dodgers pilfer second, and they have 2 men in scoring position now. 2 balls and a strike. You know, the interesting thing about and the amazing thing to me about that Nick Bierbrot incident. There's a line drive, base hit over Johnson's head and up the left field line. Gonzalez will score. Boca Chica's on his way to the plate, and into second base goes LaDuca with a double to give the Dodgers a 2-1 lead. Well, to get these 8 and 9 hitters on base and then give guys like LaDuca and beyond a chance you're flirting with disaster, and there's a double to give the Dodgers the lead.
And look who's coming up. Sean Green, Ryan Jordan, and Eric Karros. The Thunder.
So it's a 2-1 ball game right now. And Sean Green, who reached on the error his first time, steps in. The pitch is a strike call. So Kennedy in a big spot now, facing the middle part of the order, down by a run. The 0-1 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Coming out of that press conference and hearing Dr. Cole's discussion of that, the 2 slugs actually will remain in Nick Bierbrot's liver. Swing and a miss, and the count is 1-2, which is just amazing. Victim of that shooting incident last Friday, and they're expecting right now, if all goes well, he'll be out of the hospital by this weekend. Down and away. So the count is 2 balls, 2 strikes. You know, our initial reports were that perhaps one of the bullets had just nicked the liver, but both have been lodged in there and will stay there. 2-2 the count.
I know there's a sound medical explanation for that, but I just can't understand it.
Well, the big problem, number one, is as it was explained by Dr. Cole, it's a major undertaking to try to go get them beyond what he's already been through. 2-2. Strike 3 call. That will take care of Sean Green for the second out of the inning and the 3rd strikeout for Joe Kennedy. And the other side of that, in regarding the injury to Bierbrot, Joe, is that the body apparently will form scar tissue around those 2 slugs, and they don't anticipate that they would be a major problem for him in the future, although one of them is lodged very close to the aorta. Swing and a miss. Brian Jordan a little late on the opening fastball. 1 strike to count, but the doctor said today that he expects Nick, short of any complications, to recover, and actually, and it's hard to put a timetable on it, but talked about him resuming his athletic career. It's a little high. 1 ball and 1 strike, and Dr. Cole did qualify that it was out of his area to project in terms of recovery and what's required, and not really a sports medicine doctor per se, but felt that certainly by next spring that if all goes well, we should see him in uniform, which is just amazing. He had a lot of soft tissue damage, which was in the circumstances the very best to have. No vessels were hit, no vital organs outside of, you say outside of the liver, and that apparently is not going to be a problem, all things considered. Swing and a miss, and that takes care of Jordan. They leave a man. We go to the bottom of the 3rd, 2-1 LA. We go to the home half of the 3rd. Jared Sandberg, who's playing first base tonight, leads off against Omar Dahl and takes the pitch for a strike. Devil Rays down by a run. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sandberg with his average over the 200 mark, and it's been a slow but steady climb for him. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, you look at his numbers right now, 205, and you say, well, that's not good, but you don't realize how far he's come.
And I think he's come that far in more ways than just the average would indicate, Joe. I know Milt May, and we talked about it a lot on that last road trip. There's a swing and a foul tip strikeout, so he's out of there. And the one thing that Milt May doesn't want him to do is to get overly concerned about those strikeouts and be confident that he can do the things he can do and not worry about the things he can't do at the plate. That brings up Randy Wynn. Well, Wynn has done a lot at the plate recently, especially since moving into the leadoff role.
Saw Milt May there bore a striking resemblance to Tim Allen's neighbor on Home Improvement.
Just not quite completely over the top of that fence or railing, as the case may be. 2 strikes the count. Wynn hit one out, 0-2. He's the subject of our Pennzoil protection play. This came in the first as he led off the inning with a home run. His 3rd career leadoff home run and the 2nd on this homestand.
You know, he hit another ball hard last night. He could have had another hit in last night's game.
Yes, he could.
Everything he's been hitting has been smoked.
And there's a line drive into right and another hit for Randy Wynn. So Wynn has 2 of the 3 Devil Ray hits. He's 2 for 2.
Well, we've seen him the last few nights hitting left-handed, just shooting the ball right down the left field line, seemingly hitting a double every night. And tonight he comes up from the right side, hits a home run, and now he takes what Dahl gives him and a beautiful opposite. He can't do anything wrong
Joe,
right now.
He's 10 out of his last 13. An incredible run here for Randy Wynn. Here's Ben Grieve.
I'll enjoy the ride, Randy.
You checked in time, a ball and no strikes. Well, his average over 300 for the first time in over a month. Back on May the 5th, he was hitting 301, came into this game hitting 305. And is 2 for 2. 2-0 the count to Grieve. Well, maybe we're seeing a player arrive, and you hope that it is an indication of a player gaining the confidence to really believe in his ability. And I think we've seen some of that not only at the plate from Randy Wynn, but on the bases as well. He seems to be a much more confident base runner now, which is great to see. Wave and a miss. The count is 2-2. 1 on, 1 out.
Dwayne, you see the band-aids there you were mentioning earlier with Omar Dahl, the back of his neck. Apparently, there's a few guys on the Dodgers who are now into acupuncture. And it started out with Kaz Ishii as he brought the practice over from Japan, and a few guys are trying it, and apparently Omar Dahl likes it. But that's Marks from acupuncture. Back to you.
Nice going. You solved that mystery in a hurry. Runner takes off. The pitch is ball 4. So the Devil Rays will have 2 men on base. The only other thing that I would ask of Todd Kalas is that he not only inform us of the acupuncture activities of Omar Dahl, but perhaps he could demonstrate those. So we'll have him work on that. And if it happens, we'll bring it to you. Todd, how about it?
I could use an adjustment.
Hey, and there's a man right behind you who might give you one.
That's right, Jim McKean.
What? We're on? I'm supposed to be someplace else tonight.
Here's Greg Bob. The pitch is down. 1 ball and no strikes.
Oh, that was on tape.
Yeah. Jim, the former umpire, and actually
lives in the area.
He does. He has lived here and now essentially is a supervisor and is here watching the umpiring activity tonight. Bouncing ball foul, and the count is 1-1. He did have that great expression of a man who's just been caught, didn't he? There he goes.
Look, and again, he said, I can't buy a break tonight.
What are these people doing to me here? He's one of the good ones, I'll tell you. He's a
great guy.
A lot of fun, a great guy, absolutely.
Lives just around the corner.
1 ball, 1 strike. 2 men on with 1 out. And if he could administer acupuncture to Todd Kalas, we'd like him even more. all for the good of the show.
Keep in mind, acupuncture and voodoo, two different things.
And this one hits Vaughn. Deflected off Vaughn and also caught LaDuca. So the bases are going to be loaded. A single, a walk, and now a hit batsman, and they're loaded for Aubrey Huff.
Well, that deflection play can really be. We've seen it befell Steve Ripley.
Well, it's not a walk in the park, that's for sure.
No, that one rung the bell, I think.
So the bases are loaded with one out. Don't forget, coming up at the end of the month, Sunday, June 30th, the Rays take on the Marlins at 1:15, and it's another St. Petersburg Times Family Fun Day. Present a coupon from the Times and receive an outfield ticket, hot dog, and Pepsi, all for just $12. Call 888-FAN-RAYS for more info. Well, the Rays have an opportunity here, down by a run. And Aubrey Huff is in the cleanup spot against the lefty Omar Dahl. Has a chance to get the Devil Rays a run or two. He takes the pitch too low. 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, you would think that this is his good ball to hit right here. No need to take a strike. If you get a pitch you can handle, turn it loose.
And that's a strike. So the count is 1-1. Dahl not of a mind to give in here to Aubrey Huff with that 1-0 pitch. And that's a strike. Aubrey didn't like the location of that one and is not happy with the call. And that puts him down in the count, 1-2.
Up and away, never looks like a strike to Aubrey. I could say it was away as well.
The 1-2 pitch. Oh, that almost hit him. And the count goes to 2-2. Dahl running that one up and in, and Huff, as you know, who was beamed already on that last road trip, and to get out of there in a hurry. The 2-2, and there's a little looper into short left. Here comes Boca Chica to make the catch. Tag at third by Wynn. He's headed to the plate. He will score. The throw by LaDuca, and the throw backed up by Dahl down to third. That throw is wide. So the Devil Ray is going to run as Randy Wynn scores to tie it, and Grieve moves into third.
Good aggressive running.
2-2.
Good aggressive running by Randy Wynn. He has to be of the mind, being somebody, a speed guy, that you're not going to throw him out in that situation. Would have took a perfect throw. Dodgers didn't get it. Goes to show you how you can put pressure on the defense. Not a lot of guys would be going on this one. Randy Wynn was, and he made it easily.
Well, not a good throw from Boca Chica, and LaDuca could not scoop it. So the Devil Rays pick up this tying run, and now John Flaherty is the hitter. Pitch is in there for a strike. It's a sacrifice fly for Aubrey Huff, and Grieve advances on the bad throw. Boca Chica charged with his first error of the year. 0-1 the count to Flaherty. He pops it up on the right side. Karras backpedaling from first, makes the grab. We are through 3, tied 2-2. Joe Kennedy set to go to work in the 4th inning, facing Eric Karros. The pitch is outside, a ball and no strikes. Karras 0 for 1. Lifted a fly ball into right field in the 2nd inning. He's had a good year so far. Veteran first baseman, struggled last year. So he felt it was important to reestablish his offensive credentials coming out of the gate this season. 3 balls, no strikes.
Pretty good triumvirate of hitters in the middle of the Dodgers lineup. Shawn Green, Brian Jordan, and now Eric Karros. Power and run producing.
That's a strike, so the count is 3-1, and that's why it was kind of a shock to see him finish last year hitting only .235 with 15 home runs. There's a shot back over the mound, knocked away by Abernathy as it rolls into short center. It'll be picked up there by Randy Wynn, and a base hit for Karros.
Center fielder number 9, Marquise Grissom.
Hit number 4 of Joe Kennedy, and literally a couple of them have been off Joe Kennedy.
Yep.
Now he'll face Marquise Grissom.
It's always a not so gentle reminder to make sure that as much as possible to be ready and be in somewhat of good reactive fielding position out there.
There's a strike to Grissom. Not only can it help you win a game or two, but it can help you survive.
Jim Cott, the former left-hander, he won, I think, 15 or 16 Gold Gloves. Thought that won 2-3 games a year for him.
Ground ball short. Gomez, Abernathy won, and over to first to Sandberg for the 6-4-3 double play off the bat of Marquise Grissom. That takes care of that leadoff single by Karros.
He thought it won him a few games. It also kept him in games that he thought that he may be taken out of later in the game. Of course, he was a good hitter as well, but also his ability to field saved a lot of ball games for him.
Here's Adrian Beltre. Pitch is high. 1 ball, no strikes. So the bases are empty. Beltre hitting .252 right now. There's a strike. We should mention in regard to Karros last year, he played a good part of the season with some lower back problems, and that can curtail your offensive production. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Matter of fact, the Dodgers lost a number of games to the disabled list last year, and that's something they had to battle and try to overcome, and still managed to win 86 games in the National League West. 1-2 is skied toward right center. Grieve and Wynn converging. Grieve makes the catch, and we go to the bottom of the 4th, tied 2-2. Rays baseball on Fox Sports Net tonight, brought to you in part by Aflac. Ask about it at work. Welcome back to Tropicana Field of the Devil Rays and the Dodgers meeting for the 2nd straight night. Dwayne Statz and Joe McGrain with you. Tie ball game 2-2 as Brent Abernathy opens the home half of the 4th, and the pitch is in there for a strike. Omar Dahl, 30-year-old left-hander, doing the pitching. Seen that exaggerated turn that Omar Dahl has with his delivery. A foul ball back into the screen, and something that when he was working out of the bullpen, he really did not feature as much until he had a chance to start a little bit more.
Pitching out of the stretch a lot more out of the bullpen, has to be a little bit more economical with that delivery, but really worked on getting himself in much better condition to where he could be much more upright with that delivery.
There's a little looper into right. Green closing, and he makes the catch. Sean Green handles that one. Soft fly ball into short right field, and Abernathy is out number 1.
Made a nice play in last night's ball game. Makes another nice play tonight. Good quick jump. Gets those long arms out there. Makes a nice play.
Well, the Aflac trivia question for the night: who was the first LA Dodger to hit 30 home runs in a season? Chris Gomez takes one low and outside. A ball, no strikes. I've got a hunch that might be one of our favorite guys. Strike call to Chris Gomez.
It was Mongo that punched the horse in Blazing Saddles, but one of our favorite guys' name is Hondo. Not to be confused with Mongo, who's too big to be a man, too small to be a horse.
And so the answer would not be Alex Karras.
Nope.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Who's just big.
Dahl to the plate. Strike 3 call. So 2 up, 2 down here in the Devil Ray half of the 4th. Well, with those clues out there, We'll come right back with the answer to tonight's Aflac trivia question, looking for the first LA Dodger to hit 30 homers in a season. And that answer is Frank Howard, who hit 31 home runs in 1962. Russ Johnson takes one low and outside. 1-0.
And anyone who played third base when Frank Howard was at the plate lived in great fear.
1-1 the count on Russ Johnson, who is playing third base tonight for the Rays. Little chop. The shortstop. Isturis has it. His throw to first. 1, 2, 3. Through 4. Tied 2-2. Here at Tropicana Field, the Devil Rays and the Los Angeles Dodgers tied at 2. Mark Gonzalonic leading off for LA. Shooting the first pitch foul up into the seats down the right field side. Gonzalonic, the number 8 hitter, he doubled and scored in the third. Hiram Boca Chica singled and scored in the third. Their 8 and 9 hitters have accounted for both of their runs. Good idea to keep these guys off base. Down and in. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I saw Jim McKean, the umpire supervisor who we showed on camera a few innings ago. Saw him in the hallway getting a cup of coffee. He asked how much did we owe him? Or how much did he owe us for getting him on camera? And now that he's already been on camera and we profiled the fact that he's here tonight, he said he can leave.
Yeah, I saw him when you slipped out. He stuck his head in the door and had that wallet wide open.
Yep.
A couple of moths flew out.
Yep, several.
Hiram Boca Chica is the hitter. 1 gone here in the 5th.
He had a few World Series checks from a few years ago that had yet to be cashed.
This one outside. A ball and no strikes. That's a strike. The count is 1-1. Rays scored a run in the first and 1 in the third. Dodgers scored both their runs in the third. That's a strike. So the count is 1-2. Rays will be wrapping up the series and the homestand tomorrow against LA. Into the dirt and all the way to the backstop. That squares the count at 2-2.
And we'll be in the stands tomorrow.
We will indeed. And so if you feel as if you have the need, stop on by. And it'll be out there in the center field party deck. So I guess partying would be permissible tomorrow night. 2-2, skied into deep left center. Vaughn back to the track, and he makes the catch on the move for the out. Boca Chica gave that one a pretty good ride into left center. 2 gone here in the 5th inning. Vaughn had to go back for that one, and we'll be back tomorrow beginning at 7 o'clock. The Rays and the Dodgers. Our coverage here on Fox Sports Net in the final game of the series. The Devil Rays will have Ryan Roop on the hill. Andy Ashby will be pitching for the Dodgers tomorrow right here on Fox Sports Net. Cesar Estores pops it up. Foul ball for the first baseman Sandberg. We go to the bottom of the 5th, tied 2-2. 2-2 ball game. Home half of inning 5 coming from Tropicana Field. The Best Damn Sports Show period continues to change the face of sports television. Tonight, a look back at some of the best moments on the show with Buccaneers head coach John Gruden. Jerry Springer will be there as well, along with USA Today columnist Rudy Martzke. The Best Damn Sports Show period tonight after the game right here on Fox Sports Net. Leading off for the Rays, Jared Sandberg, and boy, does he get a hold of this one. That baby's fair and gone. Jared Sandberg unloading on the first pitch here in the bottom of the 5th, and that will give the Devil Rays a 3-2 lead. These are the things Milt May has been talking with him about, and it's good to see him jumping on that first pitch.
trying to really get that mindset of being aggressive, and you can tell by the look on his face. He says, I hit this one really good. I mean, you could just hear the sound, see where it landed. Ouch.
Now the pitch to Randy Wynn. There's a shot into left center field. One hop, and that skips up over the fence. I'm telling you, Randy Wynn is unbelievable. That's his third hit tonight. He has a homer, a single, and now a double.
Do not wake him up. Well, the triple with his speed should be one of the easier hits for him to get, especially the way he's going now.
Boy, oh boy. I mean, how can you be any hotter than Randy Wynn? He jumped on the first pitch here following the Sandberg home run. And 2 pitches into the 5th brings Jim Colburn, the pitching coach, out of there. Let's see, 3 hits last night for Randy Wynn. 3 more hits tonight. He's 11 out of his last 14. And as we take a look at the Gatorade League leaderboard, not surprising then that Randy Wynn is hitting .488 for the month of June. What a month Randy Wynn is putting together here.
Well, you wouldn't know by looking at him, though, huh? It's like he's, yeah, I meant to do that.
You know what? That's good.
Yeah.
That's great to see that.
Looks like you get into the end zone, act like you've been there before.
Well, you know, he's continued to battle, and he's got to feel confident now. Here's Ben Grieve taking the pitch for a strike. Grieve 0 for 1 with a walk. Rays have hit 2 home runs tonight. Grieve takes a strike. And with the home run by Jared Sandberg, another $20,000 has been raised to support prostate cancer research on the Cap Cure Home Run Challenge. For donations, there's the number, 800-547-CURE. And Ben Grieve is out on strikes. Dahl got him on 3 pitches.
Not a good at-bat at all for Ben Grieve. He had a pitch that he could pull early that he took for a strike, the first pitch. At the very least, you would have liked to have seen him do something with an out.
And you know, the one thing I think we're starting to see with Ben, you know, you talked about how aggressive Sandberg has been, and Grieve was very effective when he was aggressive. He loves to be selective. You know, he feels as if he has a pretty good idea of the strike zone, and there's that fine line between how aggressive he's going to be and not. And I think Hal McRae and Milt May would love to see him be a little more aggressive. Well, Vaughn takes a strike, and the count is 1-1. Home run by Sandberg to give the Rays the lead. Randy Wynn's aboard at second base. And a turn, but no throw back there. Randy Wynn was kind of using Joe West as a screen out there, jockeying back and forth behind West.
Oh, Randy could have had his whole family behind Joe West and used them as a screen.
2 balls and a strike. Rays have 3 runs, 5 hits. The Dodgers 2 runs, 4 hits. Outside. The count is now 3-1. Ball game here in the bottom of the 5th. Another man in scoring position. This one ball 4. Vaughn draws the base on balls. A couple of those in the mix tonight from Omar Dahl. Aubrey Huff will be the hitter. Aubrey picked up an RBI with a sacrifice fly his last time up there. Huff ground ball. That's going to be out of the reach of Gonzalez and into center. Wynn's on his way to the plate. He will score. Vaughn to third. Ball pops loose there. Into second goes Huff, and the Rays pick up another run to make it 4-2. Aubrey Huff driving in his second run of the night.
Tell you, in the development of Aubrey Huff, we've started to see him have good at-bats against quality left-handed pitchers. It goes back to a little over a week ago, facing Barry Zito, having a great breaking ball, hung in, had a lot of good swings, hangs in very well here against Omar Dahl. Firmly hits it up the middle, and an even better job to watch the ball, watch the throw, and scoot right into scoring position at second.
2 runs home here in the 5th. Now John Flaherty fouls the first one right back into the screen for a strike. So Vaughn's at third and Huff at second. A couple more men in scoring position. Dodgers making a call to the bullpen. And they'll start to get somebody up down there. That's strike 2 call to Flaherty. 0-2 the count on John. Giovanni Carrara will start to loosen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Dahl out here making his 5th start. His last time out came against the Rockies in Colorado on the 5th. And a fly ball into left center field. Grissom on the move. Can't get there. Short hops it. Vaughn will score. Huff goes to third. The Rays have another run. It's 5-2 as John Flaherty dropped one just out of the reach of Marquise Grissom.
Nice little wedge shot to center field. Keep stringing those hits together.
Well, the Rays have 4 hits and a walk in this inning and 3 runs. First and third with 1 out for Brent Abernathy. Abernathy has a base hit. Lined a single into right in the second inning. And the squeeze is on. Down the line from third comes Huff. He's safe. Everybody's safe. Abernathy squeezes home Aubrey Huff as the Rays pick up their 4th run of the inning. It's 6-2. Flaherty safely in at second, and Abernathy aboard at first. That brings a smile to the face of Hal McRae.
Now it's fun to watch. A little bit of excitement here, especially when you pull it off. And the Rays have had a hard time getting runners in from third base. Oh, so Hal ensures that he gets it done.
So a 4-run inning, and here's Chris Gomez. Into the dirt, scooped by LaDuca. A ball and no strikes.
Hal just trying to really make sure he got another run there, the way the Rays have hit with runners on third base, less than 2 outs.
And you know, it's really a smart play. I mean, there's a situation with men at first and third. If you hit a ground ball, it's an inning-ending double play. So you squeeze the run home. Foul ball up the right side for a strike.
First pitch is a good pitch to do it. It's a good pitch to do it with 2 strikes. If you foul it off, it's just an out. And also, with thinking if it's going to be an out there in that situation, it still moves John Flaherty into scoring position. And there'd be 2 outs, and the Rays would have another chance. But now there's only 1.
This one is down. 2 balls and a strike. The Devil Rays have scored 4 times in the inning. 2-1 the count on Chris Gomez. 3 balls and a strike. Up with a couple RBIs in this game. Flaherty has 1. Abernathy now 1, squeezing home the run. Sandberg and Wynn 1 apiece on the home runs. 3 balls and a strike. Runners are going, and the pitch is fouled out of play on that 3-1 pitch to take it all the way out to 3-2. 3-1 with 1 out. McRae had the runners on the move. 6-2 now. The Devil Rays out in front.
Well, I guess you would think they'd be on the move again.
Rays getting to Dahl for 6 runs. He's been charged with 6 runs in each of his last 2 outings. And 6 tonight. 3-2. There they go, and the pitch is fouled. And Billy Hatcher down there at third base in the coaching box making the play. You know, he's had something to do with Randy Wynn's base running. He's not going to take a lot of the credit, but he has been smiling about the development of Randy Wynn. Everybody happy as a hitter and on the bases as well, thinking that perhaps Randy has developed that big league confidence. 3-2, a move to first. Abernathy's back in. Abernathy at first and Flaherty at second. And a line drive into center field. Grissom will play it on 1 hop. Here comes Flaherty around. He will score. Into third base goes Abernathy, and Gomez drives in a run as the Devil Rays make it 7-2, their 5th run of the inning. So the Devil Rays come up with a big inning here in the 5th, and that's going to be it for Omar Dahl. Russ Johnson is due, and the Dodgers make their singular wireless call to the bullpen. Well, the Devil Rays have taken a 7-2 lead. 5 runs home here in the 5th inning. They've chased the starting pitcher Omar Dahl, and we'll get a look at Giovanni Carrari now with Russ Johnson due up. 30th appearance for Carrara, a record of 3-2 and a .425 earned run average.
Got his start in the Blue Jays organization. Fastball, curve, and changeup. Changeup is his best pitch, although he found it kind of tough to use coming out of the bullpen.
Russ Johnson 0 for 2. He'll be the first man to face Carrara. And the pitch is a strike. Pitch down around the knees. 0-1 the count. 7 runs, 8 hits for the Rays off Dahl. He leaves with 2 men on base. And a popper, short center. Gonzalez got turned around and it falls. Abernathy will score, and down to second goes Gomez as Johnson is aboard. Well, Gonzalez got all turned around. He lost it, couldn't find it. Turned around searching, and the ball falls, and the Rays pick up another run. That will make it 8-2. Abernathy home on that little popper that dropped in. And Jared Sandberg bats. He started this inning with his 4th home run of the year. A 6-run 5th for the Devil Rays. And a high shot deep into left center. Boca Chica will watch it go. Home run. Jared Sandberg hits a 3-run blast. He's seen 2 pitches in this inning and has hit 2 home runs. This one a 3-run shot. And the Devil Rays have broken this one wide open. It's now 11-2, a 9-run 5th for the Devil Rays.
Quite a resurgence past few weeks for Jared Sandberg. Really starting to see that confidence grow. You've seen the Rays have incredibly hot hitting from Randy Wynn in the leadoff spot, and out of the number 9 spot, Jared Sandberg. Wow.
Now here's Randy Wynn taking a pitch in for a strike. The 0-1. This one high and outside. Well, that shot by Jared Sandberg had this crowd buzzing. A two home run night for Jared Sandberg, both coming in this inning. This down around the feet of Randy Wynn, and the count goes to 2-1. So Jared now has 5 home runs this year. 3 of them have come on first pitches. One off Dahl on the first pitch to open this inning, and one off Carrara on the first pitch he saw from the right-handed reliever. Now Randy Wynn pops it back at third. Beltre's after it, but that's going to be out of play, and so the count goes out to 2-2. And so, with the home run by Jared Sandberg, his second of the inning, another $20,000 has been raised to support prostate cancer research. The Devil Rays have hit 3 home runs tonight. Randy Wynn 1 and 2 in this inning by Jared Sandberg.
I think the second one was better hit than the first one, and the first one was really hit well.
Randy with just a little piece of this one. So the count is still 2-2. You're right, Joe. I don't know if Sandberg has hit 2 balls better than he has these 2 pitches he's hit out in the 5th inning. It's hard to imagine that he could hit a ball any better than either one of them.
Both of them, they got small in a hurry. Went a long way.
The Devil Rays have a 9-run 5th inning. It's a pop, going to be foul and out of play. Randy right now hitting .314. Guillermo Mota starting to loosen in the bullpen. Wynn is 19 out of 33 since being moved into the leadoff spot in the Devil Ray order. This one into the dirt, and the count is 3 balls and 2 strikes. So it's been a great move here for Randy Wynn.
Even when he is not hacking early in the count, he's been having good at-bats, getting plenty of looks. Worked it all the way out.
And a chop to the right side. Gonzalez has this one, and they flip to first in time. So Wynn is retired for the first time tonight. That's the second out of the inning.
And it begs the question to Randy Wynn, how in the world did that happen? Making an out like that.
Well, perhaps he'll have another at bat or two to shoot for that triple. He has a homer, a single, and a double tonight. So stay tuned. Here's Ben Grieve taking a pitch high. A ball, no strikes. Devil Rays with 7 hits. Russ Johnson got credit for a base hit that on that ball that fell in out of the reach of Gonzalez, who lost it. 1 ball, 1 strike. So the Rays with 9 runs and 7 hits in this inning. Way outside. So the count is now 2-1. Devil Rays have put together their biggest inning of the year. And there's a drive high and deep to right for Grieve. That one's going to be high off the wall. He's on his way to second, and Grieve has a stand-up double. Ben Grieve lays into one and tattoos the fence in right field. So this inning isn't over yet.
A lot of lift on that swing, a lot of uppercut, top spun it. Hit it firmly, hit it a long way if he gets underneath this one. Obviously it's clearly gone, but he got a lot of top spin on it, and that prevented it from leaving the park.
The Rays had an 8-run inning on the last day of May in that series against Oakland. They have 9 runs tonight in the 5th inning against the Dodgers as Greg Vaughn takes the ball outside. 9 runs for the Rays this inning, 11 on the night. Strike on the outside edge. The count is 1-1. Vaughn, the 13th hitter to come to the plate in the inning. This one is low and outside. 2 balls and a strike. So if I'm keeping this scorebook straight, 9 runs charged to Dahl, and the other 2 here to Carrara.
It's a lot for somebody.
2-1 the count. And a strike out there again down around the knees. That'll take the count to 2-2.
Phil Cuzzy calls a lot of strikes. You get it somewhere close to the dish, and he's got that right arm up.
Two the count. Upstairs, so we go to 3-2. This is not only the biggest inning of the year for the Devil Rays, but to this point their biggest run production game of the year. They had scored 10 runs against the Yankees when they beat New York up at Yankee Stadium in the middle of May, 10-7. Joe Kennedy was the winning pitcher in that game, by the way. 3-2, a swing and a miss. Vaughn out on strikes, and the inning comes to an end, but the Rays score 9 through 5, 11-2 Tampa Bay. Rays baseball on Fox Sports Net, brought to you in part tonight by Corona. Relax and enjoy an ice-cold Corona Light. Well, the Devil Rays with an 11-2 lead. Jared Sandberg, 2 home runs tonight, both coming in the 9-run 5th. And the first pitch here in the 6th from Joe Kennedy is a strike call to Paul LaDuca. LaDuca has doubled home both runs for Los Angeles. The pitch is down, 1 ball, 1 strike. So the Devil Rays with a 9-run inning, their biggest inning of the year. Not the biggest inning in club history, however. That would be 11 runs. 2 balls and a strike. The Rays had an 11-run inning against the Seattle Mariners on May the 28th of 2000. 9 runs against the Dodgers tonight. It's a line drive into left, and LaDuca's on to start the 6th inning, picking up the 5th hit allowed by Joe Kennedy.
Hopefully it's not going to take Joe Kennedy a long time to get situated. Reacclimated, I guess, is a better word. He was doing a lot of sitting in the bottom of the 5th when the Rays put those 9 runs across.
Now he faces Sean Green. Tap to short. Second base 1, first base 2, and the Devil Rays turn their second 6-4-3 double play of the night. Gomez, Abernathy to Sandberg.
That will always help you get acclimated. And at this point in the ball game, when the Dodgers now have such a huge amount of runs to really make up, they're going to be very aggressive early in the count as Kennedy is looking to throw strikes early.
Base is empty. Brian Jordan goes after the first one and lofts a fly ball to center. Win is there. Bottom of the 6th inning coming. 11-2 Rays. Devil Rays home tonight at Tropicana Field in the middle game of their series against the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Rays scored 9 times in the 5th inning to build this 11-2 lead. Dwayne Stats and Joe McGrain with you tonight. Same 2 teams tomorrow night in the wrap-up game of this series and the homestand. Rays sent 13 men to the plate in the 5th and came out of it with a 9-run lead. Guillermo Mota, who pitched in last night's game, takes over from Carrera. Aubrey Huff, the first man he faces. Mota with a very good arm, and the first pitch tonight comes in at 95. He opened last night by throwing the first pitch fastball at 98. And a looping liner into center, going to fall for a base hit. So Aubrey Huff is aboard to open inning number 6 for the Devil Rays. The Rays have a dozen hits tonight. Aubrey has a couple of them. He's now 2 for 3 with 2 runs batted in. That brings up John Flaherty. Mota making his 12th appearance, 1-0 after the 1-inning stint last night, in which he gave up 2 runs. Now Flaherty sends a fly ball into right. Green is back and makes the grab. That's the first out here in the bottom half of the 6th inning.
The second baseman, number 3,
Now Brent Abernathy will be the hitter. Abernathy got a base hit in the 2nd and squeezed home the run in the 5th inning. And as such got credit for a sacrifice, picking up a run batted in, reaching on a fielder's choice. Ground ball to first. Out there, and the tag now on at 2nd, and that's too late. So Karras tagged the bag at first, and Aubrey Huff arrives safely at second base. Two outs with a man at second. Chris Gomez will be the hitter. Gomez picked up a run batted in as well in the 9-run 5th. And the first pitch is a strike.
Well, we saw a few pitches ago, Mota, when he puts the ball behind his back, he takes that slider grip right from there. Now he's twisting it like he wants to throw another slider.
Gomez sends it right back into center for Grissom, who's got it. We're through 6, 11-2 Devil Rays. As we go to the 7th, the Rays have an 11-2 lead. Jason Conti takes over in center field for the Devil Rays. Eric Karros will open the 7th inning for the Dodgers against Joe Kennedy. The pitch is low and outside, 1-0. So Randy Wynn is so hot. Hal McCurry trying to preserve some of those hits.
It's a good idea. Don't waste them.
The chop headed to shortstop. Gomez has it. Throw to first in time. So Karras is out of there. 1 pitch, 1 out. Well, the Rays started it on a home run by Randy Wynn back in the 1st inning. They scored a run in the 3rd, and then Jared Sandberg opened the 5th inning with a home run. Throughout the inning, the Rays collected 8 hits. A sacrifice squeeze by Abernathy got a run home, and then Sandberg, who had started it with a homer, concluded the scoring with this 3-run blast on the first pitch he saw. So 2 home runs in the same inning from Jared Sandberg tonight. Marquise Grissom goes after that first pitch and fouls it out of play. 1 strike here.
This is really how baseball's changed the past few years, is when a team gets way down. Normally the rule was take a strike, make the pitcher work, and now it's just go up there and hack.
1 ball, 1 strike. LaDuca in the 6th inning went 2-1 and then singled, but Green grounded into a double play on the first pitch. Jordan flied to center on the first pitch. Karras grounded out in this inning on a 1-0 pitch. Now it's 2-1 to Grissom, who had gone after the first pitch. Ground ball back over the mound to second. Abernathy's thrown to first. 2 up, 2 down here in the 7th inning.
Oh, you saw that little drop down tidbit that our good director Tom Hastings showed us. If check it out here, named after the Mercury Marquis automobile. Now, wouldn't his first name then be Marquis as opposed to Marquise?
Which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Well, it's, I guess, his name, and he can pronounce it any way he wants. There's a foul ball by Beltry out of play, but there is some truth to that story. I think his father worked for Ford.
Yeah.
When he was born, he was on his way to the hospital, and he said, you know, if they haven't named this youngster yet, I like that name. He had helped build a Mercury Marquis, and in another way, helped build Marquise Grissom. And the count is 1-1 here to Beltry.
Thanks for that bit of education.
A little roller foul. Anytime I can be of help, happy to do so.
And some years previously, we must assume that there's several people in the Michigan area walking around with the name of Edsel.
There is indeed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Karros has grounded to short. Grissom grounded to second. And a fly ball lifted into right for Grieve. He's got it, and we go to the middle of the 7th. That's 11-2 Rays. For a sports update, let's go to our Fox Sports Net studio. Rays coming into bat in the bottom of the 7th inning, leading the Los Angeles Dodgers tonight. It's an 11-2 ball game. Russ Johnson leads off. And the pitch is a strike on the outside corner. Russ 1 out of 3 with a 5th inning single. Rays with 11 runs and 12 hits. 2 strikes the count. Guillermo Mota, the 3rd pitcher tonight for the LA Dodgers. Little tap to the right side. Anzalone from second makes a quick flip to Karros. That's the first out. 1 gone with the bases empty. Let's check in quickly with Todd Callis.
Hey, Dwayne, thanks a lot. We are here with Al Linden, and the guy at the plate right now, Al, has contributed $40,000 courtesy of CapCure to help research a prostate cancer. I know you're pretty happy with Jared Sandberg's night.
Oh, yes, it's great. He's hit 2 home runs there in the same inning.
Unbelievable. Of course, CapCure is the Major League Baseball Players Association connection to try and find a cure for prostate cancer. And I know you are a survivor of prostate cancer. Was it fairly early in the process when they detected it for you?
Yes, it was. It was a fast-growing cancer, but they got it right away, and they removed the prostate. I'm 3.5 years, almost 4 years now, and 1st of August I'll be have been cancer-free.
And you were on the field before the game. You got a Devil Rays jersey, so a lot going on. I know you're a man who's retired from the Army. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you were in Vietnam?
Yes, I was a helicopter pilot, and I had lost my leg in Vietnam.
You have lost a leg in Vietnam. Did you have quadruple bypass surgery as well?
Yes, I did.
You are truly a survivor, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I'm very fortunate. Good Lord's with me.
Guy, Al Linden here, survived quadruple bypass surgery, Vietnam, prostate cancer, and you also ride a motorcycle too occasionally, huh?
Yes, sir.
Wear a helmet?
Yes, I do, of course.
All right. He's a survivor, guys. Back to you.
All right, Todd, an amazing story. A ball, 2 strikes. Sandberg with a base hit. This one over the head of the shortstop is Torres, a line drive. And Jared Sandberg is 3 for 4. So Sandberg having an outstanding night here against the Dodgers.
Well, he's hit 2 absolute bolts, 2 monster shots, 2 home runs. Breaks his bat, and it's still falling. So wherever that horseshoe or rabbit's foot is, keep an eye on it.
Now Jason Conti batting for the first time in this game, occupying the spot originally penciled in for Randy Wynn. 1 strike the count here on Conti. Randy had gone 3 for 4 tonight with a homer, a single, and a double. 3 runs scored for Wynn. That's a strike to Conti. He's behind 0-2. Well, Sandberg recently has started to put some multiple hit games together as he has tonight. 3 hits tonight. Right at the end of May, he had those 3 hits against Oakland. Wave and a miss. Conti is out number 2. First strikeout for Mota. But since then, he had a couple hits when the Devil Rays ended that series against Oakland. Then he had a couple 2-hit games back-to-back against San Diego. And now 3 hits tonight against the Dodgers. Here's Ben Grieve. Pitch is outside. 1 ball to no strikes.
I think that's been fun to watch Sandberg's confidence as it grows. It used to be when you get 2 strikes on him, it was the mode of do not strike out, and that's obviously what you can't have as a hitter. And through getting more aggressive at the assistance of Milt May, has started to get some of his best work done early in the count.
Well, I think Milt May has helped him to realize that he's not going to hit 300. He's not going to win the batting title, but there's nothing wrong with that. He can still be a productive hitter up here and play the heck out of third base, 1 and 2, and get hot occasionally, as he has the past week or so. Drive in some runs and hit a few pitches out of the ballpark, and he could have himself a nice career. Pitch is down. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, he's playing first tonight, and he's swinging the bat like a first baseman.
Rays have 11 runs and 13 hits tonight. That's outside. So a full count here on Ben Grieve with a man at first and 2 gone. And Jesse Orosco.
Fitting that he'd be pitching here in St. Petersburg.
Wave and a miss. Grieve out on strikes. We're through 7. 11-2 Tampa Bay. Leading off the 8th, Mark Brunzolonic looks at a strike. Brunzolonic with a double. He's 1 for 2. Joe Kennedy with the number 32 on his shoe, as well as his cap, remembering his teammate Nick Beerbrot, who's recuperating in South Carolina. Brunzolonic out. First base unassisted. Best damn sports show period, changing the face of sports television forever. Tonight a look back at some of the best moments. Buccaneers head coach John Gruden there, along with Jerry Springer and Rudy Barsky, USA Today columnist. Best damn sports show period tonight, right after the game here on Fox Sports Net. Here's Hiram Bocachica. Outside and low from Joe Kennedy. A ball, no strikes.
Well, I said in the last inning, fitting that Jesse Orosco would be throwing in the bullpen here in St. Petersburg. Looks to be coming into the game.
Fly ball back into center field for Conti. He's under it. 2 up and 2 down.
Long time ago, back in 1986, he began his big league career with the Mets, who at that time were training right here in St. Petersburg. But I don't think he's anywhere close to being done, so it's not like he has got to the point where he's come full circle.
He's only 45.
Yeah, he's a youngster for a lefty.
Jeff Rabelais is going to hit for his tourists here in the 8th inning. 2 outs and the base is empty. The pitch is a strike. Joe Kennedy working in the 8th. Up to 100 pitches right now. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Rays came in 1 and 3 on this homestand, and to win their first game from the Dodgers after dropping last night's opener. Last night the Dodgers won 10-5, and the Rays have an 11-2 lead tonight. 2 balls and a strike. This one is down 3-1. Kennedy wearing Nick Beerbrot's number on his shoe and on his cap. Happy to again report that Nick Beerbrot's condition upgraded to good condition and transferred out of the intensive care unit. Pop up, foul ball. Flaherty's after it, but does not have room. is full.
Well, there's a guy who runs the Catchers Club, famously known as just one name. It's not Yanni, it's not Sting, but it's Bruce. He sells the seats for the Catchers Club. Almost got himself a souvenir.
Here is the 3-2. Pop back into center. Kantai coming on is there and makes the grab. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 11-2 Tampa Bay. Rays carry an 11-2 lead into the bottom half of the 8th inning tonight at Tropicana Field. Enjoy Rays baseball when they take on the Florida Marlins at the end of the month on the 28th, 29th, and 30th. And on the 30th, the first 5,000 fans 14 and under receive a Tropicana Rays watch. When the Marlins are in town, call 888-FAN-RAYS. Dave Hansen takes over in first base here in the 8th inning for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Paul LaDuca moves out to left field, so LaDuca is in left. Okachika moves over to right field. Jeff Reveille is the shortstop. And the Dodgers make a couple other changes behind the plate. Chad Kruger, the new catcher, and on the mound is the veteran left-hander Jesse Orosco.
Jesse Orosco, at 45 years of age, truly has found the fountain of middle age. Came up in 1986 with the Mets. Says he loves the life in the bullpen, just scurrying about like a couple of little happy lizards.
Well, he's in his 23rd season in Major League Baseball, the all-time Major League leader in games pitched. This would be 1,150 as he faces Greg Vaughn. And he throws him a strike. Rays scored a run in the first, a run in the third, and 9 runs in the 5th. Two the count. 13 hits tonight. Vaughn, the only spot in the order without a hit tonight for the Rays. The number 3 spot. He has scored a run. He walked and scored in the 5th. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You know, Greg Vaughn had been hitting out of the 2nd spot in an effort to get him some better pitches to hit back in the 3rd spot tonight, with Grieve going into the 2 spot. It's foul down the left side. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, just give you a little perspective about Jesse Orosco. 23 years in the major leagues. And there's guys on the Rays who weren't even born yet.
A ball, 2 strikes. Ground ball, third base. Beltry with a quick throw, and Hansen cannot scoop it. So Vaughn will get a base hit. So every spot in the Double Ray order has at least 1 hit tonight. Not every player. Kantai just entered and got 1 at bat, but 1 through 9, each spot with at least a hit, and there's 1 for Vaughn. Now Aubrey Huff.
This is where Orosco thrives. Gives him a chance to really spin that breaking ball, that sidearm slider.
The fun gets on strange ways.
Now a base hit into right field for Aubrey Huff, his 3rd hit tonight. Vaughn advances to 2nd. So the first 2 men are aboard for the Devil Rays. And John Flaherty will be the hitter.
Tell you, Orozco's been around so long. He's faced Johnny Bench. He's faced George Brett, Willie McCovey, Willie Stargell, Carlton Fisk, Joe Morgan, Mike Schmidt, Jose Cruz and Jose Cruz Jr., Griffey Jr. and Griffey.
And the first pitch to Flaherty is in there for a strike. 0-1 to count. A lot has happened since he broke in. Pop fly back to center field. Marquise Grissom is there to make the grab. One gone. On back in at second, and Huff back in at first base.
There's the youngster, Terry Mulholland, growing behind Jesse Orozco, who's 40, and then there's Victor Zambrano, who is somewhat young.
Two men on, one out. There's Brent Abernathy. Abernathy with a run batted in tonight. Came on the squeeze play. The pitch sails in there for a strike. They're going to give Beltry an error on that ball hit by Vaughn, so it will not be a hit for Vaughn. That'll be the 8th error of the year charged to Beltry. This one down, so the number 3 spot on the order still without a hit tonight. And that's going to be the 2nd error that I charged to the Dodgers. Vaughn at second, Huff at first with a base hit. The Rays have 14 hits tonight. It's headed foul beyond the bullpen and then some, out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Devil Rays and the Los Angeles Dodgers get together again tomorrow. We'll be with you on Fox Sports Net beginning at 7 o'clock. Ryan Roop and Andy Ashby, the pitching pairing tomorrow. Here's Ryan. He'll be after his 6th win.
Look at those guys, sheepish grins and everything.
Now the 1-2. Chopped to third. Beltry back and steps on the bag for the force play. So Huff up at second. Abernathy reaching on the fielder's choice. 2 gone. That's the pitching matchup tomorrow on Fox Sports Net. We'll be with you at 7 o'clock. Andy Ashby 5-5 on the year to make that start. Chris Gomez, the hitter.
We can hold it? All right. Okay, we can go then. All right.
And the pitch is in there for a strike. Just to give you another example, Joe, you mentioned how long Orozco's been around, and some of the Devil Ray players weren't even around when he broke in. Well, Orozco made his big league debut with the Mets on April the 5th in 1979. Joe Kennedy was born on May the 24th, 1979.
There you go.
0-1 the count. Inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Orozco following Dahl, Carrera, and Mota to the mound for the Los Angeles Dodgers tonight. Two balls and a strike.
Yeah, and there's a real example of someone who's been able to get his breaking ball consistently over the plate. Talking about a left-handed reliever. And it just goes to show you, if you can do that, that you can do this for
a long time.
And then some.
2-1 the count to Chris Gomez. Ground ball. Renzolani with the flip to the shortstop. Rebele covering the bag to retire the side. On to the ninth. 11-2 Rays. LaDuca now playing left field, leading off here in the ninth inning, taking the first pitch from Joe Kennedy for a strike. This one a little bit wide. It's 1-1. LaDuca 2 out of 3 tonight with a couple runs batted in. That came back in the third inning. And he shoots it into center field. Jason Conti back there, and he's got it. And that's the first out here in the ninth inning. Just present a coupon from the Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday editions of the Tampa Tribune and receive 2-for-1 outfield tickets on Tuesdays here at Tropicana Field. The next Tampa Tribune 2 for Tuesday is June 25th with the Toronto Blue Jays in town. Joe Kennedy will face Chad Kruder, who's hitting out of the third spot. Kruder took over behind the plate in the top of the inning. Goes after the first one. It lofts a fly ball foul down the right side, and Ben Grieve, just as he hit the bullpen mound, took care of that one. Well, one pitch to take care of Kruder. 2 outs here in the ninth.
Ben was doing some prancing right over into the Devil's Triangle, the pitching mound. You can get injured pretty easily over there, but he pranced his way right through it.
Well, here's Brian Jordan as Kennedy tries to close this one out and pick up his first victory since he went the distance and shut out the Seattle Mariners 1-0 back on the 21st of May. 1 strike to count. He beat Jamie Moyer and made 112 pitches that night. He's at 110 right now. Foul ball, and so the count is 0-2 on Jordan as Kennedy looks not only for his 4th win but for his 2nd complete game of the year. 11-2. He got 9 runs of support in the 5th to break a 2-2 tie. And that one a little close off the inside part of the plate. And the count is 1-2. 2 outs here in the ninth. He's retired 10 in a row. And a foul ball. Jordan just a piece of it to stay alive.
Tell you, Joe Kennedy, when he gets close enough, knows how to sniff that 27th out. Those last 2 fastballs, 91 miles an hour. He's still got the giddy up.
1-2. Here it is. Ground ball foul outside of third. Jordan twice has struck out, the last time he flied out to center. Kennedy working over a new baseball, trying to close it out and give the Devil Rays a victory tonight. The 1-2 pitch. And another foul ball straight back. So Jordan battling here against Joe Kennedy. With 2 outs, bases empty in the ninth, and the Rays holding a 9-run lead. This one wide. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Couple fly balls for the first 2 outs. Now the 2-2 from Kennedy to Jordan. And a fly ball foul up the right side. That's going to be out of play.
This is such a fun feeling for a pitcher to know that you've been able to handle anything that the opposition's been able to throw at you 3, 4, 5 times around the lineup. And you've done it all yourself.
And the 2-2 ground ball. That's headed up the middle and a base hit into center field. So Jordan battled Kennedy and picks up a 2-out single to prolong this one just a bit. His first hit tonight and the 6th hit allowed by Kennedy.
Says a lot also about Brian Jordan and the type of at-bat that he had, showing no desire to be the last out of the ball game. Goes back to the opening comments saying that he's going to be gutting it out on every pitch.
Now Joe Kennedy faces Dave Hansen, who had taken over at first base for Carroll's. So this is the first at bat for Hansen, and he shoots it into left field. Right there's Vaughn, and this one's over. The Devil Rays have beaten Los Angeles tonight. A 9-run fifth decided this one. 2 home runs in that inning by Jared Sandberg. Joe Kennedy goes the distance, and the Devil Rays win it. It's an 11-2 final tonight as the Rays knock off the Los Angeles Dodgers. We'll be back in just a moment. Tampa Bay Devil Rays baseball on Fox Sports Net has been brought to you in part by Budweiser, who salutes America's designated drivers. Pennzoil, we're driving protection. And by Singular Wireless. What do you have to say? Devil Rays win this one 11-2, and with 3 home runs hit in tonight's game, a total of $60,000 has been raised for prostate cancer research. Thanks for helping keep Dad in the game. So the Devil Rays hit 3 home runs, pound out 14 hits, and they knock off the Los Angeles Dodgers 11-2. Joe Kennedy goes the distance for the second time. He got help from the Devil Ray offense with a 9-run fifth. Jared Sandberg opened the onslaught with a home run on the first pitch of the inning. And before the inning was over, he closed the scoring with a 3-run home run as the Devil Rays scored 9 times. 39 different players in Major League history have done it. They've done it a total of 42 times in big league history. And now Jared Sandberg a part of all that as the Devil Rays win it 11-2. That sets the stage for tomorrow. The Devil Rays will wrap up this series against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Ryan Roop against Andy Ashby. We'll be with you on Fox Sports Net beginning at 7 o'clock, leading up to the first pitch at 7:15. Now for Joe McGrain and the rest of our crew, this is Dwayne Statz. Great to have you with us. Hope you've enjoyed the telecast. Again, the Devil Rays are winners tonight, 11-2. Coming up next, the best damn sports show period from St. Petersburg. Good night, everyone.